So I just got back into Wuthering Waves about a month ago, and my god is the game amazing. It's so much different than it was when it first released, and it feels like a completely different game. Having played Genshin for the past 4 years, Wuthering Waves is honestly a breath of fresh air. There's so many things that Wuthering Waves does better than Genshin, and some of those things are what Genshin needs. Wuthering Waves has an artifact loadout, a better weapon banner, easier way to get constellations, and so much more. While Wuthering Waves did copy a lot of things from Genshin, with the success of the 2.0 update, Wuthering Waves has now become its own game. So if Genshin doesn't want to fall behind Wuthering Waves, then Genshin needs to copy Wuthering Waves. So that's why we have to talk about this. But before I get started, like always, if you got some more Genshin Impact content like this, or other Genshin Impact content in general, definitely hit the like and subscribe button. But yeah, anyways, going back to what I was saying before, there's a lot of things in Wuthering Waves that Genshin Impact needs. And yeah, I kind of want to talk about some of the things I want to see in Genshin that Wuthering Waves already has. The biggest things in Wuthering Waves that I want to see in Genshin Impact, and I know that most of these will never happen, but yeah, number one, I want to see them separate the limited character polls and the limited weapon polls into two separate currencies. Having to choose between a limited character or a limited weapon kind of sucks. I'm someone who is a collector, so that means I usually and almost always pull on the limited character banners. And not only that, but Genshin doesn't really give you that much primos every single patch. It really just gives you enough to do like 190 pull. So yeah, I never have enough to go for the limited weapons because I just don't have enough primos, and it sucks because sometimes the limited characters need the weapon in order to be good, or sometimes the 5-star weapons kind of make them even better, or kind of like unlock their hidden potential that you wouldn't get from a 3 or 4-star weapon. So yeah, having two separate poll currencies for limited characters and limited weapons will definitely alleviate this problem and make it so more people can get a limited character's weapon and no longer have to choose between going for a limited character or a limited weapon. While we're on the topic of the weapon banner, number 2 on my list on something that Wuthering Waves has that I want to see in Genshin is a guaranteed weapon banner. So if you guys didn't know, in Wuthering Waves, you're guaranteed to get the limited 5-star weapon in 80 polls, I think, which is significantly better than Genshin Impact. If you guys didn't know, previously in Genshin Impact, you actually had to do 3 rotations in order to guarantee a limited 5-star weapon. So first you had to go through the whole 75% to 25% ratio. I think I could be wrong, but yeah, basically you have 75% chance to get a limited weapon, like not even a limited weapon that you actually want. It's just 75% chance to get a limited weapon, and then a 25% chance to get a standard weapon, which is ridiculous. And they still have this system, which I think they should do away with. Just give us the 50-50. Like the 50-50 is already bad enough, but somehow they made it even worse with the 75% chance to get a limited weapon and a 25% chance to get a standard weapon. Like nobody pulls on the limited banner wanting to get a standard weapon. Primo gems are so scarce in this game, and you already have to choose between pulling for a limited character and pulling for a weapon. There's just not enough primos to go around, so getting screwed over by getting a standard weapon just really sucks. But anyways, going back to the same before, so after you do the first rotation, the second rotation actually the 50-50. It was like a 50-50 chance to get the weapon you want, and then the third rotation is when you actually guaranteed the weapon. So that's how it was previously in Genshin Impact, and then they changed it. I'm not sure when they changed it. I'm not sure it was after Wuthering Waves came out or before. Thank goodness they actually changed it because it was absolutely horrible the way it was before. I don't know who came up with this idea. Like, I'm not sure whether not to applaud them or to roast them. On one hand, it's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life when it comes to a gacha game. Or not the worst thing, but one of the worst things. Or up there, I guess. But also, I kind of want to applaud them because this nonsense actually worked. Like, a lot of people actually pull on the weapon banner, knowing that it's a complete scam, and they're willing to shell out some money just to get a limited weapon with this type of banner. And I'm like, you know what? If I was a business person, I would give this guy a raise. They came up with such a genius idea to scam people, and it worked. But yeah, anyways, now in Genshin Impact, you only have to do 2 rotations. And the first rotation is the 75% chance to get a limited weapon and a 25% chance to get a standard weapon, which is still bad. Like I said before, get rid of that. Just give it the 50-50. Like the 50-50 is already bad enough. So yeah, just take 2 of the lesser evils. But yeah, in the second rotation, you're guaranteed to get the weapon. So yeah, that's how it is right now. But I want to see them get rid of the first rotation in general and just guarantee us the limited weapon. We don't have enough primo gems to go for both a limited character and a limited weapon. And with Genshin refusing to separate the limited character polls and the limited weapon polls, guaranteeing a limited 5-star weapon after 90 polls would be a godsend for free-to-play players and the Dolphin players, because at least with our limited primos, we know it's not going to be wasted on getting a standard weapon. Not to mention that fate points don't carry over, so in order to guarantee a weapon on a weapon banner, you actually have to do the full 180 pulls in order to guarantee it. Not 180, it's 160, I believe. Yeah, no, I said that the weapon banner is guaranteed at the 90, no, it's guaranteed at the 80. I keep forgetting, but yeah, still, like the whole fate point system is kind of stupid. Like I think it has its benefits, but for the most part, it's just stupid, and I feel like they should just get rid of it and just guarantee us the 5-star limited weapon. Number 3 on my list of what I want to see in Genshin Impact that's already in Wuthering Waves is a way to make getting constellations a lot easier. Like I said before, Primo Gems in Genshin are scarce. Like not only do you have to choose between getting a limited character and a limited weapon, but you also have to choose between wanting to go for constellations. And with Wuthering Waves, you can actually buy constellations in the shop using like the currencies you get from getting dupes. So for example, in Genshin Impact, it's the Starglitter. So imagine being able to buy constellations for a limited character and standard characters in the Starglitter shop. Like, isn't that kind of crazy? And not only that, but it doesn't really cost too much to get a constellation. Like, yeah, you probably have to save for like a patch or 2 or maybe 3 just to get 1 constellation, but hey, like it's a constellation and I don't have to spend any more of my limited currency in order to get it. Like it's a win-win. And like the Starglitter in Genshin, I only used it for more pulls, and those pulls would have went to going for a constellation. So yeah, either way, like the Starglitter is just gonna be recycled back into the banner. So why not just give us a way to buy constellations in the Starglitter shop? And also in Wuthering Waves, I feel like it's cheaper to buy the character in the shop with their Starglitters than doing another set of 180 pulls on the banner just to get a constellation. So basically we're getting a discount by getting the constellations in the shop. So it is a completely better system and a way more free-to-play friendly way for people to get dupes of characters. And also it definitely helps a lot of people out when it comes to managing the Primo Gems. So I don't know, it's just a win-win overall, and I really hope Genshin adopts this system, but I highly doubt it because people spend a lot of money going for constellations. So yeah, I don't really see them changing anytime soon, but I'm still hoping, right? Number 4 on my list on what I want to see in Genshin Impact that's already in Wuthering Waves is an artifact loadout. Wuthering Waves came out of nowhere with their artifact loadout and basically kind of took a crack at Genshin by doing something that they refused to do. Like this game's been out for 4 years and there still is no artifact loadout system, and characters like the Traveler with multiple elements and other characters with like different builds really needs this. Like there's so many times where I'm like equipping artifacts on my Traveler and then I'll switch to another element and equip a different set of artifacts, and then I go back to the previous element and I completely forget what artifacts I use, especially when I kind of interchange these artifacts and use the same artifacts for a different element. Like I'm always just sitting there for like a couple minutes just trying to figure out what I even used. Genshin really needs this artifact loadout and it needed it yesterday, and the fact that Wuthering Waves did it in the recent patch, I'm just like, come on man, like how do you let a game that's only been out for not even a year have a system that everybody wants that you guys refuse to give us? It's been 4 years, and I know it's not a development problem because it's been 4 years and the Wuthering Waves just did it in like the first year. So if they can do it, you guys can do it. Hopefully they add an artifact loadout system eventually, and hopefully it's soon because it's something that we all need and something that we all want to. Like there's no other quality of life update that people want more than the artifact loadout system, so come on, just give us what we want, Hoyoverse. My number 5 on my list on what I want to see in Genshin Impact that Wuthering Waves already has or does is buffing the main character. So if you guys play Genshin, you guys will know that the Traveler isn't really that great when it comes to the kit. In my opinion, as a Traveler main, the only good elements for the Traveler are Anemo, Geo, Dendro, and Pyro. And even though it's good, it's not great. There's still a lot of flaws. Like I don't expect them to be as good as a limited 5-star character, but I don't expect them to be worse than a 4-star character, right? Like, come on, man. The Traveler is still a 5-star character, so they should at least be better than a 4-star character. And not only that, but they are the main character of the story. I'm just like, why is the main character in the game so bad when it comes to the kit? Like, you guys already don't treat him well in the main story. At least give him something, right? But yeah, unfortunately for us, Hoyoverse decided that Traveler on day 1 can't be good in either kit or story. Yeah, unfortunately, we have what we had with the Traveler for 4 years. And they are improving with the newest Natlan region. Like the Power Traveler isn't horrible, it's pretty decent. Though what I really hate is how the good constellations are only locked towards a single weekly boss, and the regular constellations do not compare to their boss constellations. So I'm just like, man, this is a slap on the face. Hoyoverse know that the Traveler is horrible, so it made him really good for one boss and it's horrible everywhere else. I'm just like, man, that really sucks. They know that the Traveler is bad, and that's why they included the good constellations, but they refuse to make the Traveler good in places other than that one weekly boss. If you're not gonna make a Power Traveler good, at least don't give him the good constellation. That way we won't know that we're missing out on something even better. It kind of feels like you're window shopping. Like you don't have enough money to get the thing you want, and right there in front of the window and just like looking at it. That's how I feel like when it comes to the good constellations for the Pyro Traveler. I'm just like, it's right over there and I can like almost reach it, but I can't. Yeah, but when it comes to the rover in Wuthering Waves, they do him justice. Like, not only is the rover really good in the base kit, but Kuro, I think I pronounce the name, they have the audacity to buff them after release, which is crazy. It's mind-boggling. Like, the only time a character in Genshin got buffed was Zhongli, and that's because there was a massive outrage and complaining and riots for that to happen. And yeah, ever since then, no other character had ever been buffed. Actually, that's not true. In the Sumeru Archon quest, the Traveler did actually get a buff with the whole canned knowledge or whatever. They actually got, I don't know, 1% buff, I don't know, something like that, and basically increased their attack by like 3. Which is so stupid, man. Oh my goodness. Okay, no, actually, it was kind of funny. Like, it was funny, but at the same time, so stupid. But yeah, that's basically the only 2 times a character really got buffed in Genshin. But it basically summarizes the relationship between Hoyoverse and the Traveler. That's the only buff they got. But yeah, going back to Wuthering Waves, they actually buffed the rover after release. I don't know why they buffed the rover, but I'm assuming it's probably because they didn't think the rover was good enough or strong enough. So they're like, you know what, let's make him a little better, a little bit stronger. And they actually buffed them. And not only that, but they buffed them in 2 separate occasions with 2 of the elements, which is insane to me. They're actively looking to see how the rover is doing, and if they're underperforming, they'll buff them. And I'm just like, that's crazy, man. And not only that, but having seen the leaks for the recent element for the rover, Arrow, oh my god. It looks really good. The burst animation for the Arrow rover looks amazing. The gameplay looks amazing. And not only this, but they might be giving, or at least according to the leaks, they might be giving the Arrow Rover their own 5-star weapon. And it's almost as good as a limited 5-star weapon in that game. That is crazy. Imagine the Traveler getting a 5-star weapon that caters to them, that is almost, if not as good as a limited weapon in the weapon banner. Like, that is crazy. Like, the difference between how Kuro treats their main character compared to how Hoyoverse treats the main character is basically night and day. Like, it's actually kind of ridiculous when you really think about it, how much better the rover gets treated in Wuthering Waves compared to the Traveler and Genshin Impact. So I'm still wrapping my head around the fact that they buffed the rover after release twice. Like, it's still mind-boggling to me. They didn't have to do that. Like, the rover is already good enough as is, but they decided that it wasn't good enough, and they decided to make them even stronger. And I was like, kudos to them. They got it all figured out, and I was like, thank you. Thank you so much for making the rover really good. The only time I feel like Hoyoverse will buff the Traveler is if they release them in a gacha banner with like all the elements in there. Basically like the full powered avatar Traveler. Maybe they might make them the first 6-star character, who knows. And then also they'll probably finally give the Traveler an actual good weapon, and a weapon that can actually use in story cutscenes and a limited weapon banner. That's the only way I can see them buffing the Traveler. The free Traveler we get will probably always stay like this. I don't really think they'll ever buff them, but then again, who knows, maybe they might. Maybe when the Traveler finally gets all 7 elements, they might do that. Maybe they might get a power up in the story when they get all 7 elements or something, and they use that to buff all the elements for the Traveler. Maybe they might get a really good weapon in the story that is on par with a limited 5-star weapon. But yeah, I kind of highly doubt it, because like before, they have never buffed a character after release except for Zhongli and the Traveler that one time for like jokes. So yeah, I have no expectations for them to ever buff the free Traveler. I'm still hoping that they might, but I think that ship has sailed a long time ago. So yeah, I'm just gonna hope for a better Traveler in the gacha ban in the future, because then they'll probably finally do them justice. But who knows, like maybe when it comes to the Pyro Traveler, they might give us the good constellations once you get to like C6 or something like that, or maybe they might make it a story thing where the Pyro Traveler gets buffed. I don't know. When it comes to Natlan, they have definitely been improving when it comes to the Traveler in every aspect. So I guess I wouldn't really put it past them to do that, but at the same time, I don't think they will. But speaking of the Traveler, number 6 on my list of what Wuthering Waves has that I want to see in Genshin Impact, I want to see the Traveler have more importance in the story and feel like a main character and have these really cool cutscenes showing us that they're him or they're her. So far in Natlan, or I guess like a 5.x patches, they've been doing really well with this. Like the entire 5.3 Archon quest and also the 5.3 Lantern Rite. And I haven't really played this yet, but the 5.4 Hot Spring event, whatever, with like the new character Mizuki and A and Yai, I think they might have some cool cutscenes with the Traveler and A. I could be wrong. But yeah, so far, the treatment of the Traveler in 5.x has been really well. Not only when it comes to the kit, which is pretty decent, but like before, not that great, and also the treatment of the story. So I want to see them continue this in the future, similar to the amount of love that the rover gets in Wuthering Waves. Like, if you guys don't play Wuthering Waves, the rover in that game feels so important and super strong and has the really awesome cutscenes that makes them feel like they're the main character. And that's something that Genshin has lacked in the first 4 years, other than like a few moments here and there when it comes to like the leeway story quest at the end, and also when they got powered up when they're fighting A, and also some moments here and there when they were fighting Scaramouche in the Samara Archon quest. But other than those few moments, and I'm not including character story quest and world quest because those are just like, I don't know, not side things, but it's basically like not the main story, basically. I don't know. And also because I haven't really played every single character story quest and world quest, so I don't really know the extent of how the Traveler is in those. So I'm just basing it off a main story. But there just haven't really been that many great moments for the Traveler during those times, and that didn't really change that. So I really hope this is like a new direction for them, and they give them the same amount of love as the rover gets in Wuthering Waves. Especially since now the story is nearing its end. Sort of, not really. The next region is when the Traveler finally gets all 7 elements. They might not be full power yet, but they'll be close, and for the Traveler to still be weak and losing half the time, it just doesn't feel like they're powerful. Like, even with all these elements, they still can't really win. But like I said before, they might not be a full power yet. They might need something else after the 7 elements to really be a full power. I don't know. We'll see how they take the Traveler in the future of the story. But yeah, you would think that a character with the power to use all 7 elements would be unstoppable, but so far they haven't really shown that with the Traveler. Not to mention that a lot of Traveler's feats and recognitions really only comes from text and not from cutscenes, and they kind of suffer from that saying, show me, not tell me. They keep telling us that the Traveler's strong, but they never show us that they're strong. And when it comes to cutscenes, that's the thing people remember the most, not the endless amount of text that Genshin spews out in the story quest. That's one of the reasons why people think the Traveler is weak, is because the text is not the thing that people remember the most, it's the cutscenes. And the Traveler in the cutscenes just don't really have those cool moments. And I feel like if they make the Traveler more important, give them more cool cutscenes, and allow them to show off their power, and basically showing that they're him/her, and also giving them a better kit, because the kit is also no reason why people think the Traveler is weak. But basically what I'm saying is that I want Hoyoverse to treat the Traveler like a main character, like how a main character should be treated, similar to how the rover's been treated in Wuthering Waves. I want the Traveler to have the same love and care and importance and coolness, whatever, all that stuff, similar to how the rover is in Wuthering Waves. And in Natlan, they're definitely improving, so I really hope they continue this in the future and don't make them what they were in the previous 4 regions. And also at the summer event as well. Like, I feel like a Traveler in a summer event, it's just there half the time. Like, I don't even know why they're even there. They're into like Lantern Rite at times. This is like, I don't know why we're here, other than just like celebrating, obviously. But the latest Lantern Rite, like I said before, was really good. So at least improved this year. But hopefully the Traveler in this year's summer event will be better than they were previously, similar to how they improved their Lantern Rite. But I have some hopes ever since seeing this year's Lantern Rite, so yeah, I'm looking forward to the summer event this year. And yeah, that's kind of about everything I can think of when it comes to things I want in Genshin that's already in Wuthering Waves. I'm pretty sure there's some other stuff I want, but I can't really remember it right now, so if I do remember it, I'll definitely leave a comment down below. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about my list of things I want to see in Genshin that's already in Wuthering Waves. And if I didn't list anything that you guys wanted, definitely let me know in the comment section below on what you guys want to see added into Genshin that's already in Wuthering Waves. But yeah, I do plan on making a video in the future talking about some of the things I want to see in Wuthering Waves that's already in Genshin. Don't worry, I'm gonna play both sides. I'm not gonna just talk about Genshin and not talk about Wuthering Waves. So hopefully you guys look forward to that video in the future. But yeah, anyways, comment on this video if you guys enjoyed. If you guys want Genshin Impact videos like this, or like Genshin Impact shorts, or Genshin Impact reaction videos, or stuff like that, definitely hit the like and subscribe button, because that helps me a lot when it comes to getting my video in the YouTube algorithm. But anyways, that's kind of about it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.